down at soccer this morning, and I told the guys, you need somebody to come in here and give this outfit a bit of class, man. There you go. That's my boy Harada-san, and he's going to show us how to use the follow feature. Check this out. Hey, we got a great interview today with Shane from JapanBall. He organizes tours. Come over, check out baseball, cultural exchange program through the love of sport. Hey, no heads up.
Heads up, Michael.
These guys. Enjoy. Okay, good morning. Welcome to Gaijin TV. Today, we're pleased and proud to have Shane Barclay, the owner of JapanBall, a tour company that organizes tours for people interested in baseball over here in Japan. Shane, good morning.
Morning. Hey, how you doing, Michael?
Very well, thank you. I gotta say, man, up the hop, it's a good idea to have a cultural exchange through the love of the game. How and when did you start this?
Well, I owe credit to a fellow named Bob Bavasi who started JapanBall in 1999, and he's always worked in baseball, comes from a legendary baseball family here in the States. And the way he says it is he's like, hey, I want to find a free way to go to Japan every year. So he started putting together these tours. And that was, yeah, like I said, 1999. And then I started helping out with his tours a couple of years ago because I worked in baseball as well as in my previous job. And we got connected through his brother. And just this past year, I took over as the owner-operator of JapanBall from Bob.
Fantastic, because there's a kind of a barrier for Japan. I mean, it's a long way. There's the culture, the language, the distance. So as I said, the love of the game kind of unites us as lovers of all sports. So Tell us, what will we see on a typical tour?
So in a typical tour, it's a baseball-centric tour for sure. But of course, going to Japan, we're going to experience other things as well. But really, we use baseball as an avenue to experience a new culture, which I think a sporting event is one of the best ways to experience a new culture for a variety of ways. But so we'll go, our main tour is a 8-day tour. It changes every year a little bit depending on the schedule because the baseball schedule is never the same. But we'll go to maybe about 6 games in 8 days. So it's a lot of games, but there are a number of teams in the Tokyo area. So spend a good amount of time there. Then we'll hop on the Shinkansen and go to a few other cities as well and check out those cities and go to games and just have a lot of fun eating food and watching sports and seeing temples and whatever it may be.
Fantastic. I'm glad you took them on the Shinkansen, man. The level of service on that thing is pretty sweet. And it's so nicely integrated with the systems here. You pull into a station and then you've got buses, trains, and more ways to get around. Tell us a little bit about the ballpark experience, please. What are some of the differences, some of the similarities between the American ballpark and Japanese ballparks?
Glad you asked that. So you walk in and the field is the same. They're playing the same sport, but that's just about it. It's yeah, I love that jersey. Yeah, it's so. I mean, the main thing that you'll see, the most obvious thing, and that any person will take away is the fans. The Japanese fans are treating it like as an international sporting fan would say, like a soccer or football game.
They go crazy, baby.
Yeah, and an American fan, I think the best way to compare it would be to college football with, this organized cheers. It's intense from start to finish. And the fans are very supportive. Doesn't matter how far ahead or behind the team is, whether in that game or in the standings, the fans are so passionate. So that's the main takeaway. And with Japanese baseball, of course, it's great food. The beer is like, beer girls going up and down the aisles with beers and kegs on their back, which is like such an awesome thing to have 5 or 6 different types of beers brought to your seat all game long. It's a fun way to experience a new culture. All the other fans have their guard, you're interacting with Japanese people. They have their guard down there after work. They're having some drinks, whatever it may be, and they're rooting for their home team. So it's a great way to, as a foreigner, to kind of get to interact with some of the locals, and they always want to know, what our story is, and hey, how come some Americans are here at our game rooting for our team? So it's such a fun time.
Fantastic. You notice that there's a section put aside for the visiting team?
Yeah, that's a great call. Yeah, that's something that's unique. I feel like all sports around the world should do that. I mean, it makes it so fun. First of all, it's probably a little safer. You're not just one
Right?
guy. You're not one guy wearing the rival team's hat that's
The
getting
wrong
yelled at.
colors.
Yeah, exactly. But also it
Hey,
just makes it. Yeah, go
I
ahead.
wanted to show the people the Japanese. This is a hockey jersey, but
Yeah, that's a great jersey.
my boy James, who wrote a book about called Black and Yellow Fever,
Yeah.
he said they got to take up cases of like coolers up to the visiting section.
Yeah.
And have at it from there.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing that you can bring in your own drinks to a Japanese baseball game.
Did you notice that?
Yeah, that's something that our American guests and other guests from around the world that come with us are very surprised by.
Dude, I'm from Toronto. It costs you 20 Canadian dollars for a pint up there. But here down in Koshien, our local here in Nishinomiya, a very famous storied park itself, you walk in with the beer, and she said, no. I said, oh, take it. She said, no, I'll give you a cup. Pours it out, gives it back to you, and lets you go in. You can bring your own snacks, and it makes it, more reasonable for a family outing. Yeah.
Exactly. I love how you said it, you hit it on the head. Like for a family outing, it's affordable. The tickets, they're not gouging on tickets, not gouging you on drinks and food at the ballpark. And if you want, you can bring your own, as many people do. And there's no nothing wrong with that. They encourage it.
Such a respect for the manners and the way things go here. I remember teaching in a school, and I just walked out to the ballpark area, the diamond, and the ones on the baseball team, those are like the samurai of the high school, right? They honestly practice, Shane, 363 days a year for the higher end ones, right? That Koshien Stadium I was talking about just recently had their 100th year anniversary. I should have done a little more research into the history of Japan, but 100 years for the high school tournament?
Yeah, and it's amazing because I mean that stadium and that tournament's 100 years old, and that stadium is such a great stadium, and it was built for the high school tournament. It wasn't even built for professional use. That's one of the coolest things. And I mean, I should probably know this. I think it's the biggest one. It's one of the bigger stadiums for sure in Japan. I think it might be the biggest one. And it's what original intent was for amateur use. And even when that tournament happens every year, the Tigers, the hometown professional team, gets kicked out of the ballpark for a couple of weeks while the tournament happens.
For a month in August, they always blame their performance on that. Well, we were out of our home stadium. I got to finish with the bow to the sensei. When I go out there to the diamond, all of them stop, turn to where I am, and bow. I'm not even a coach on the team. So I'm walking in with the kids one time, and they stop when we're just about to go in the school, turn around, and bow again. I'm like, what are you bowing to now? He goes, the field, Michael Sensei. Oh, okay. So they don't chew gum. Much respect to the field. One more, if I may, quick point about Koshien. It's emotional. If the team loses, that's you won and you're done, right? You got to go home. So they have special sand for the infield brought from the northern prefecture, Totori, and it's dark, rich chocolate. And they're tearing up. They got dirt on their faces, and they're pulling some of the dirt from the infield into their satchel. They'll take that back to their home diamond and spread it as a kind of blessing. Well, at least we got to Koshien this year, boys.
Yeah, such a cool tradition. And yeah, that infield is treated with reverence, that's for sure. And for those kids, it's for a lot of them, and this isn't even a knock against what they achieve in their life. It's probably the biggest thing that they'll ever experience in their life, as far as like, and like I said, it's not even a knock against them. Like, it's that big of a deal.
Absolutely, dude. The on the other hand, James was telling me, sometimes, Mikey, we get a little too much pops, or somebody does, and they get into a little fisticuffs with either opposing fans. He said there's a little jail, or I guess a cooling cell underneath Koshien. I said, dude, did you ever end up there? He said, no, but some of my boys did.
Yeah, James is part of the Tigers, diehards, and the Tigers fans are known as being the the rough and tumble, kind of the most rowdy fans. And so, yeah, I know that he has some of those stories, and any Tigers fans and Tigers players will know, it's not like, Japanese are very polite people, but to the hometown fans are not as polite as the other fans are around the league. That's for sure. They let you they're serious there.
The Hanshin Tigers, I believe that goes to two kanji. The Osaka kanji is Han and the Kobe kanji is Shin. So they put it together, and we're basically right here in the middle of the two cities. Hey, I got some snacks for you, Shane-san. Do you know what popcorn is?
Yes. Yeah, popcorn. Yep, there you go. That's a good ballpark food right there. That's
Hokkaido butter, and my wife does a little shoyu or soy sauce.
Oh, nice. A little salt. I like that for the salt. It will shoyu instead of normal salt. I like that.
Yeah, and whenever she fixes my cooking, I said, "What did you do?" A little bit of soy sauce. Okay, next is peanuts.
There you go. That's some great ballpark food too. Those are probably, where are those ones from? Do you know?
Thank you for asking. That's Chiba Prefecture, and they show you on the package all the things you can see in Chiba, and they give you a little window. And I don't know how they do it, Shane, but they've made peanuts, like they're fresh roasted, they're gorgeous.
I gotta get some of those. It's actually pretty tough to find those in Japan, at least at the ballpark. It's hard to find them, and lots of times we have a lot of our. Oh, you're making me hungry now.
Yeah,
lots of times
I'm not going to eat it. Sorry.
No, that's all right. A lot of peanuts are of course a staple at American ballparks, and a lot of our fans will come and they'll look for the peanuts, and it's hard to find them. I think maybe one or two ballparks have them, but inevitably what happens if I don't catch it ahead of time is our guests will do what they normally do at a ball game, which is you eat your peanuts, you crack the shells, you throw them on the ground, right? That's what you do. It's like it's a tradition. You get up and then you got a big mess of peanut shells. And in Japan, I always have to be like, no, you can't do that here. That's not how we do it. And if you are going to do it, you better sweep them up really well at the end of the game, because everyone packs up their trash at the end of the game. And
there's even stories of them going to World Cup soccer games and bringing garbage bags and doing a little cleanup or osoji afterwards, leave a handwritten note in the country's language, clean up their dressing room.
Yeah,
the manners are insane. It's wonderful.
I love it.
Okay, I'm going to continue. Hot dogs.
Oh, look at that. That's not your traditional hot dog.
No, it's everything's smaller in Japan. Okay, biru.
Love my biru.
I gotta have a biru. It's a little early, but kanpai.
Kanpai. It's time for me.
You want to be more honorific? Put your hand underneath when you kanpai.
There you go. Good advice.
I'm going to gross you out here a little. Oh, wait, here's one more. Kurakujakusu.
Do they have the real deal there? They got real deal Cracker Jacks in Japan?
No, but bring me some peanutsu and kurakujakusu. Check this out.
Oh, there you go. Is that dried squid?
It's dried squid.
I love that dried squid. That's good stuff.
Oh man, it's pretty pungent, man. But I got to show the people.
It smells stronger than it tastes.
It's a toothpick. But there, it's like squid jerky. This stuff. I'll be chewing it for 3 days. So I'm gonna pass on that. This is pretz.
Pretz. There we go.
The little, I don't know how they've done this, man, but they've actually got, it's got baconiness to it. All it's smoked bacon.
Yeah, it says smoky on it. So yeah, it's a little
smoky bacon
smoked pork style. I love it.
Okay, man, let me continue. This is more baseball words. Are you ready?
All right, let's hear it.
Marinazu.
Marinazu. As in the Mariners?
You're good, bud. Okay, Dojazu.
Bo Jackson.
Right?
No, I just said Bo Jackson.
Dojazu.
Oh, Dodgers.
There you go.
Dodgers, yeah.
And I got to say congratulations, because I heard, I might be wrong, they won the Warudo Series.
They did win the World Series. That's right.
Fantastic.
Yeah. What was your first, say the first word again. What was the first one you said?
What, Marinosu?
Yeah. What was that one?
Mariners.
Oh, it was the Mariners. Okay, I was right. All right, got it.
10 for 10, bro.
All
I just
right.
got this. I found this hat, and I realized that Otani-san. They told me, yeah, Otani-san is a big thing when somebody
Yeah.
from Japan goes to the majors, right?
Yeah.
How's he doing? He's a big boy.
So he is a big boy. He's an impressive athlete, and you'll see a lot of those hats, those Angels hats, around Japan now because he's the biggest deal in Japanese baseball right now. He unfortunately has been battling injuries, but when he's on, he is arguably the best baseball player in the world. And you could say that because he hits and he pitches, and he does both exceptionally well. And he does it to a level that no one in the major leagues has done since actually Babe Ruth, who is also a great pitcher. And
Didn't know that.
Yeah, so Babe Ruth pitched for his first couple of years, and then he gave it up just to hit. But Otani is very adamant about wanting to do both of them, and it's been so fun to watch him do it. And I hope he just can stay healthy.
Well, good for him. They have a mock-up in the local sports store of his stride when he throws a pitch, and dude, it's just like that's one stride.
Exactly. That
segues nicely because I say the best baseball player ever is Ichiro. After 20 seasons of 200 hits, all my American friends are like, eh. So I'm curious, what would you pick as maybe some of your top players?
I mean, Ichiro is first out of the Japanese players. Definitely Japanese players who have come over to play in the major leagues for sure, easily number one. And as far as just major league players alone, he's definitely one of the top hitters of all time, and just top overall players of all time. In Japan, I think you could make the same argument that he is the best or one of the best of all time. He could really do it all. In baseball, they have 5 tools, right? Running, throwing, fielding, hitting for power, hitting for average. He could do it all. And he didn't have so much of the power numbers, didn't hit so many home runs, but he could if he wanted to. He has that ability. And, for someone that just impacts the game in every single way. And he was a big deal coming over from Japan because he really showed the Americans that, hey, these guys are for real. They have superstar talent over there and amazing athletes. And he really forced baseball fans around the world to respect the Japanese game if they haven't already.
Yeah, take notice. Well, there's been 3 World Baseball Classics. I'm proud to say Japan has won 2 of them. And when Mr. Ichiro left Mariners, I forget where he was going, but he did the bow to the fans, and he took off, as you do in Japan, took off his hat, did the proper, and I showed Mr. Kikuchi, my wife's father. He said, yeah, kakoi desu ne, Maiku. And I thought kakoi was cool, but I looked at it a little further, and it's actually good form. So yeah, I got Ichiro. How about you?
As the best?
Favorite?
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm not going to argue with that. For Japanese guys, I would say Ichiro for sure. And Otani, if he stays healthy, may surpass him.
Shane, I meant to ask you, is there a, like, for your tours, is there like an upper level 5-star type of one and more of a budget one, or is it a range of different options? Yeah. So
the way you can vary it depending on price is by picking how long you want to go. So if you do the whole thing, so we call it the See It All tour, you'll go to all 12 NPB ballparks. Like you'll see, yeah, exactly. You'll see a home game. It's an intense tour, but for like a baseball lover and someone who wants to see the whole country of Japan, it's a great option. And of course, that's the biggest time investment and financial investment. But you can just do shorter versions of that as well, where maybe you're only going for a few days and you're seeing 2 or 3 games. And maybe some people will just do a short trip to Japan, which of course that's not necessarily convenient for some people. So they'll spend maybe a couple days on their own before or after the trip. If you just want to do something shorter, or, some people will combine to travel to maybe somewhere else in Asia and they'll just hop over in Japan with us for a few days. So yeah, there's a few different options for sure.
That makes a lot of sense. If you're coming over here, you might want to see one of the other Asian countries, but I have to say Japan is the pearl of the Orient. Could you tell us again where we can find you?
Yeah, sure. I would say, JapanBall.com is our website. So check that out and stay tuned because we're having a new website come out in the next month or so, which I'm really excited about. It'll be, your source for all things international baseball, and of course, Japanese baseball specifically. We'll have information there about Japanese baseball, information about our tours. So that's JapanBall.com. And then we're on social media, Facebook, just look up JapanBall and you'll find us, and Twitter and Instagram as well. JapanBall Travel is our handle on Twitter and Instagram. So yeah, I encourage anyone who's watching here to check us out on any of those outlets and see what we're up to, because we'd love to have any of them join us to Japan for a tour, or if you just want to stay in tune with what's going on in the world of Japanese baseball in the English language, then we're a good source for that. Fantastic.
They have a program here in Japan to stimulate the economy. They call it GoTo Travel right now. And unfortunately, it's just domestic, but the government's offering a 50% rebate on your hotels, travel, the meals, all of it. And that's a pretty significant savings. So they've even started doing it with just restaurants, Go To Eat right now. Listen, wow. Matt, I want to show you, I want to show the people outside my window here, because it's very pretty in autumn in Japan. And here's another travel tip.
Oh, wow.
Don't come in summertime, okay? It's too damn hot. Springtime for the sakura, or the autumn, is absolutely stunning. Right over there is Mr. Matsushita, the dude who started the Panasonic Denshi, electronics company. And that property is manicured to within an inch of its life. Any Italian grandmother would be jealous.
Yeah, it looks like you got some nice colors coming in there. I know the fall, with all the Japanese maple trees, is a beautiful time of year.
It's a long, slow fall from basically mid-September to mid-December. And I'd love it that you're into bringing people to Japan and showing them the culture through baseball, because it's kind of our mission here at Gaijin TV. We're like, this is really nice. You guys got to come over here.
I know.
Check out how they roll, and then hopefully take it back to your country, and we could all be a little nicer to each other. What was that something about treating others the way we'd like to be treated, and things tend to work out.
I hear that works out well. Allegedly.
Dude, thank you so much for sitting down today. Thank you very much, Shane. JapanBall owner, look him up and come on over.
Thanks for having me, Michael. Appreciate it.
All right, thanks again.
You're welcome.
Ciao for now. All right, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Awesome.